Hi, and welcome to today's episode. I'm Lorelee, and today we're going to talk about something that affects so many people who are in the middle of a legal battle: the financial and emotional strain of waiting for justice. If you've ever been injured in an accident or had to take legal action because of someone else's negligence, you know how stressful it can be. The legal system moves at its own pace, but your bills don't wait. Medical treatments, rent, groceries, childcare, they keep coming, even when you can't work or have little to no income. It's a situation that feels overwhelming, even hopeless at times. But here's the good news. There's a way to find relief. Today, we're diving into pre-settlement funding. If you're not familiar with it, pre-settlement funding is a financial lifeline for plaintiffs waiting for their cases to settle. It's not a loan, and it's designed to help you focus on what matters most: your recovery. In today's episode, we're going to explore how pre-settlement funding works, and we're going to share stories from people who've used it to regain their financial stability and peace of mind. By the end, you're going to see how services like those provided by Stonewood Funding can truly change lives. Let's start by talking about the weight of financial stress and how it impacts recovery. Let's start with the reality of what it's like to wait for a legal case to settle. Imagine this. You're in a car accident. The other driver was at fault, and your attorney tells you you have a strong case. But strong doesn't mean fast. It might take months or even years before you see any settlement money. In the meantime, your bills don't stop. You've got medical expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, and maybe even childcare costs if you're unable to care for your children while you recover. And if you're unable to work because of your injuries, there's no income coming in to cover those expenses. Here's the tough part. That financial stress doesn't just affect your wallet, it affects your health. Studies show that financial stress can delay recovery because it increases anxiety and makes it harder for your body to heal. You might even start cutting back on important things, maybe skipping doctor appointments or physical therapy sessions just to save money. That's a vicious cycle because it slows down your recovery and makes it harder to move forward. This is where pre-settlement funding comes in. It's a way to get the money you need to cover your expenses while you wait for your case to resolve. And because it's not a loan, you don't have to worry about taking on more debt or making monthly payments while you're already struggling. Let's move on to how pre-settlement funding actually works and why it's different from other financial options. So, how exactly does pre-settlement funding work? It's actually a lot simpler than most people think. Here's the basic idea. Pre-settlement funding is a cash advance that's based on the potential outcome of your case. Unlike a loan, it doesn't depend on your credit score, your income, or your financial history. Instead, the amount you're eligible to receive is determined by the strength of your case. If your case resolves in your favor, you repay the advance from your settlement. But if your case doesn't succeed, you don't owe anything. That's right, there's no payment required if your case doesn't result in a settlement or verdict. Let me break it down in 3 simple steps. Step 1, apply. You start by filling out a quick application online or giving Stonewood Funding a call. We are going to ask you a few basic details about your case, like the type of lawsuit you're involved in and your attorney's contact information. The application process is free and it doesn't take long. Step 2, case review. Next, we work directly with your attorney to review your case. This is where Stonewood Funding really stands out because we don't rely on credit score or financial records. The focus is entirely on your case and its potential outcome. Step 3, receive your funding. Once your case is approved, you will receive your cash advance, often in as little as 24 hours. You can use the money however you need, whether it's to pay medical bills, cover rent, or simply keep food on the table. And here's why it's so powerful. it's not just about covering expenses. It's about giving you the mental and emotional space to focus on your recovery. You can go to your doctor appointment, follow your treatment plan, and give your case the attention it deserves without worrying about how you're going to pay next month's rent. Now, let's bring this to life with a couple of real stories. Emily was a nurse who was injured in a car accident. She needed surgery and months of physical therapy, which meant she couldn't work. As the weeks turned into months, her bills started piling up. She told me, "I felt like I was drowning. I couldn't even sleep because I was so worried about losing my apartment." When her attorney recommended Stonewood Funding, Emily was hesitant at first. She thought, "Isn't this just another loan? I really can't afford more debt." But once she learned it wasn't a loan, she decided to apply. In less than 24 hours, she had the funds she needed to pay her rent and medical bills. Emily told me later, "I didn't realize how much the financial stress was weighing me down until it was gone. Once I had that relief, I could focus on my recovery and finally feel hopeful about my future." James was a warehouse worker who slipped on the job and injured his back. His employer's insurance company dragged out the workers' compensation process, leaving him with no income for months. James' savings ran out quickly, and he didn't know how he was going to support his family. That's when he turned to Stonewood Funding. In just 48 hours, James received a cash advance that allowed him to pay for groceries and rent. He told me, "I felt like I had a lifeline. I went from feeling completely hopeless to feeling like I had a chance again." I've mentioned this a few times already, but it's worth repeating. Pre-settlement funding is not a loan. Here's why that distinction matters. With a loan, you have to make monthly payments and repay the full amount with interest no matter what. With pre-settlement funding, there's no credit check, no interest, and no monthly payments. And if your case doesn't resolve in your favor, you don't repay the advance. It's a solution that's designed to reduce your financial stress, not add to it. If you're dealing with financial stress while waiting for your case to settle, pre-settlement funding could be the solution you need. Getting started is simple. First, visit stonewoodfunding.com and fill out a quick application. We're going to work directly with your attorney to review your case. If approved, you can receive funding in as little as 24 hours. Thanks for joining me on today's episode. If these stories resonated with you, please share this podcast with someone who might benefit. Remember, Stonewood Funding isn't just a service, it's a lifeline for people in need. Until next time, I'm Lorelee, reminding you to focus on your recovery, not your financial stress.